afternoon, honorable judges. My worthy opponents, I'm Nafisa pleasantly express my thanks for your interest in discussing our motion today about this House would abolish Olympic Games. As previously stated, I am hereby standing against the motion, and if I have your permission, I would like to begin by defining the motion. Government team wants to minimize the bad effects of the Olympic Games by banning it forever. And let me make the status quo clear. Olympic Games is still working and it's not prohibited yet. And government team found it a problem by keep allowing Olympic Games to be held. And our goal as negative team is just sticks with status quo. We want to stick with the Olympic Games because we believe that Olympic Games should not be banned since it brings many ideal and high influence human spirits and it has higher and more benefits than its side effect. So we have to make sure that people are agreed to keep supporting the health of Olympic Games. Ladies and gentlemen, let me present my observation about actor analysis. First thing first, we have Olympic Games participants, and their willingness is to test their skills in sports at the Olympic Games and win. And then we have IOC, the organization that owns Olympic Games. Their need is to fulfill the mission of the United Nations and also has the authority to decide to continue or dismiss the Olympic Games. We believe that is justified, ladies and gentlemen, because IOC organization, the company that held Olympic Games, including managing its sponsorships, making regulations and so on, holding a very high principle that it brings so many human spirits to life. It has basic visions that are sticking behind several fragile living values. And I'm gonna start with some of the most impactful ones towards our massive current global crisis. First of all, it supports gender equality and inclusion. We both agree that we've been facing the problem of gender equality, which is quite complicated in the last few decades. The belief in the throne of men who are considered higher than women, or patriarchy, often causes it to be difficult for women to participate in certain events, including sporting events like this, because it is believed that women should only focus on certain things, which tend to sound unfair, picky, one-sided, and unreasonable. But we don't have to worry anymore because it was all cleared away at the Olympic Games since gender equality is a top priority for the Olympic movement. The two main aims are to make access to sport in general and the Olympic Games easier for female athletes, and to increase the number of women in sports administration and management. And then we have sustainability. Based on the responsibility of the IOC as an organization, as the owner of the Olympic Games, and as a leader of the Olympic movement, it focuses on infrastructure and natural sites, sourcing and resource management, mobility, workforce, and climate, which is an important pillar of a high-level organization, the UN, and in its mission to carry out sustainable development. Third, IOC Refugee Olympic Team. IOC are aware with the global refugee crisis that has seen an estimated 65.3 million people in the world displaced. And it gives chance for refugees to take part in the Olympic Game Rio in 2016 and forever. Also built Olympic Refugee Foundation to provide them another opportunities and become an embodiment of protection for refugees under UNHCR regulations. UNHCR itself is United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. It's the refugee agency of the United Nations, or the UN, mandated to lead and coordinate international action to protect refugees. The Olympic movement ensures that they can become a forum for refugees to compete or simply develop their sporting potential safely and ensure that they continue to achieve their rights as equal human beings. Since we, as human beings, must stand with the truth and with the bad remorse spreading about the Olympic Games have the potential to destroy the best dream and goals of the Olympic Games, which are only oriented towards global human progress. The realization of UN's mission will also be hampered and could undermine the plans that have been carefully planned and implemented for years. Keeping in mind also that hastening is better in realizing the humanitarian missions. It would be better if we didn't delay it at all in any case, not even in the Olympic Games. This movement must continue according to the original plan without the slightest disturbance because it holds an important global goal that must be realized immediately. Thank you so much. See you later on.